So today sucked, and we're here to tell you all about it. I'm Triss Leder.
And I'm Forrest Leder, and we're here talking life, health, and sanity, and finding sunshine in the rain.
So Forrest, we're back.
We're back. That's right, we did not fall off of the planet.
I'm sure that everybody was really worried.
I was worried. I thought we fell off the planet.
Yeah, sometimes it can kind of feel like that, right? So we're back. We are back on doing. We had a few days that we purposefully took off from doing after 2 solid weeks of following through on our commitment. And it was what needed to happen. We had some things that needed to get handled, and there was some late nights and
Some really late nights.
Really late nights, and a follow through on a commitment to our kids that we needed to follow through on. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sorry, everybody, but our kids took precedence over you. I'm really sorry. I'm not, though.
No.
So I, at the very least, am still proud of us.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm gonna.
Tell me about your mother.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. Okay. My mother is a lovely, wonderful, fabulous woman that I would adore to be anything like someday when I grow up.
Absolutely.
And not blowing smoke, folks. This is the God's honest truth. No, what I mean is I'm proud of us that we purposefully took the time that we needed to take and didn't overextend ourselves. Like, it's good to make a commitment to something, and it's good to follow through on that commitment, but not to a fault. Because there's this little thing called life that happens. And you can't, as much as I would like to say otherwise, you cannot predict and plan for every eventuality. And he's laughing at me, guys. And so there are...
I did not.
There are things that happen that are going to get in the way of something that is important that you want to do, or something that's important that you've committed to do that you should do, like this. And that's okay. I feel like it was a big victory for us in taking the time off, because it was a conscious decision that we made, which is something that we have worked on, not just in the last 2 weeks. We've been working on that sort of thing for literally years, of not just allowing things to sort of sweep us along in the moment, and then we get to the end of the day or the week and go, what the hell happened? And so the conscious decision that we made, because we discussed it, we said, we are taking this night off and probably tomorrow night. And we ended up extending it a night. That is, for better or worse, whether it was the right choice or not, it was a choice, and not just allowing circumstance or whatever to sort of creep up on us. And then I think the second thing we did good, and then I will let you talk, I promise, is that we started back up again. And no apologies. We missed you guys, and we're really glad to be back doing this for sure. But we're not sorry that we were gone. We're not sorry that we took the time that we needed to, because that's what we needed to do. And we just dug right back in, doing the thing that we were doing and sticking to that commitment, and not letting the break or the setback or whatever to discourage us from continuing forward.
It's too important.
Yeah.
It's too important to quit. Just because there are a couple of days you don't do it. So, yeah, it's definitely a victory to pick things up where you left off, to dust it off and say, I still believe in you.
Yeah.
And in the end, it really comes down to kind of that. Do you believe in yourself that you can keep going? And also not letting that distortion happen of, well, I didn't just keep going all the way through, and therefore I'll never be able to keep going all the way through, and why even bother continuing? No, all that stuff is bunk.
Yeah.
That stuff, it's inaccurate, distorted thinking. It catastrophizes the moment when really what it is there was a day or a few days that it just didn't work to do, or you didn't have enough and you needed to do some self-care to fill up the tank or whatever to be able to get back on track. So you reset and you go again.
Yeah.
It's like the basketball players that when they miss a free throw, in practice, they don't beat themselves up about it. They check their position. They keep they go through their routine and they do it again.
Right.
And they do it again. And they do it again until they succeed more than they fail. And then they keep going. Mm-hmm. Because and that's one thing that I love about sports. I love a lot about music, but in music, we talk about in the process of learning that you make mistakes, but then you fix them and whatever. But you get to the end, when it's performance time, you don't make mistakes. Or if you do, you pretend you didn't.
My dad, we're a big arts family, and both of my parents music teachers before they retired. My dad plays the double bass, string bass, upright bass, however you want to call it. And he always gets so irritated, especially at basketball, because he does actually like to watch basketball.
Sure.
He gets so irritated when they talk about the free throw average or whatever, I don't know anything about sports ball. So what's a decent to pretty good free throw average for a player?
I'm not a basketball.
You're not a basketball
fan.
Person. Oh, okay.
I just know this about.
It is less than about 98%, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I feel like it's maybe like 70%. Like if you're talking about a quarterback in football,
sure.
Okay,
go for it.
A quarterback in football that's really good has a completion rate of around maybe a little more than 70%. Mm-hmm.
And my dad would go on these rants that in playing in the symphony, if he only got 70% of his notes correct, they'd fire him.
It would be unrecognizable.
Yeah, it wouldn't be music. But and it's something that always made me kind of laugh. It's a whole completely different medium. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into that. You don't have
no one is chasing you while you play the double
nobody's
bass.
trying to take your ball away while you're trying to play or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So it's a different thing, but it's a funny story that he always did that as a kid. He would say stuff like that, and I think that that's everything that you try to do. It has a different look as to what success is.
Yeah.
And what the process is. The process for music is you do all of your flub ups beforehand so that you don't in the performance. Sports isn't like that for the most part. That's just simply not how it works. But you both have very successful individuals in those different areas, but their process looks totally different. Mm-hmm. Even taking the specifics of the activity that they're doing out of it. The process looks totally different.
But one of the things I love about it that I think transcends is so here's my fan coming out. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh boy.
Go Bills, 4-0. But the big thing that I love out of Buffalo right now is that the coach of the Bills, Sean McDermott, has said for the past several years since he came on with the team, trust the process. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with music. When you're preparing for a performance, you trust the process. It's not the result that is the important thing. You want the result, but the result comes as a consequence of the process. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the thing that we're working on right now for ourselves is, can we trust the process?
Yeah. Well, since we're going with music and sport analogies, oh boy.
Do you take a pill for that?
Yeah, right. Analogy. There we go.
I have an allergy too.
Yeah. Something that is the same across the board for sports and music and a whole mess of other things is practice. Practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, practice for forever. And if you don't do that, then of course the process isn't going to work, because that is like the bedrock of the practice is, or of the process is doing the thing. But I think that is a more general thing for any sort of aspect of something you want to do, is practicing it. And this mindset of, okay, we took a few days off. It feels like a failure because we committed to doing every day and we're going to do every day, gosh darn it. And we made it 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not very long. But the mindset that we're trying to come at this with, or at least I'm trying to come at this with, is not one that I adopt very naturally. Some people do. Some people have the more sort of positive outlook on things just as a matter of course. And I love those people. I adore those people. I am not one of those people. And what I think I am realizing right now is that having that attitude and that approach of, okay, we took a little bit of time off. That did not ruin anything. Mm-hmm. Trust the process. Learning that trust, learning that attitude takes practice.
Yep.
And if I don't pick up my violin, I'm not going to practice. Yes, I play violin. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. If I don't pick it up, I'm not going to practice it. If I don't give myself the opportunity to practice learning trust, to practice, adjusting my attitude and my mindset and the way I'm approaching something, if I don't give myself the opportunity to practice that, I'm not going to get any better at it.
Yeah, that's true. We talk about a lot in the teaching profession, in education in general, about the idea of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And so we're in that place where it's the growth mindset is so important, because we aren't there. We're not going to get where we want to be for a while, a long while probably, and that's okay, because like we talked about, it's the process that's going to make us get the result that we want, but also just it's going to make us better. Mm-hmm. And we're going to grow into it. And it's that idea of, with a growth mindset, go back. With a fixed mindset, it's when you have something come up, then that means that you just can't do it. You say, I can't. I didn't, so I can't. And it doesn't allow room for change. This is the way things are now, and so it's going to be that way. With a growth mindset, it's changing that sentence with just a single word, and you say, I can't yet. Mm-hmm. And you're training your brain to say, but I will. Mm-hmm. I can't yet, but I'm going to keep trying. Mm-hmm. I can't yet, but I'm going to keep growing and getting better, and I will be able to do it later.
It opens up so much more possibility for the future instead of shutting yourself off into a box of, well, I didn't, so I can't.
Yeah.
I didn't, and so I won't be able to. Like, I didn't yesterday, so I never will.
Right.
Instead of, I didn't yesterday, but maybe I could today.
Yeah, exactly. And, it also gives you that kind of sense of, like you look at people who talk about high school, like their or college even, as their glory days, where like it was the best time of my life, and it can never be as good as that again, or whatever. Like this is when I was in my prime. Well, no, my best days are in front of me. And that mindset of my best is yet to come and I'm just getting better is so important.
Well, and for the rest of you pessimists out there with me, trying to get to that place is a daunting task. Like, I don't know if I would ever have that mindset just in general of, yep, the best is yet to come and I'm just always getting better. And that's really nice. Pippi Longstocking. Okay. Thank you. But
the sun will come out. I know that's not Pippi Longstocking, but it's appropriate here.
I think that you can still adopt that sort of growth mindset in what feels like a more tangible way, instead of, well, I'm always getting better and it's going to be, my best days are ahead of me and stuff. Like, well, no, those weren't my best days behind me. They could be in front of me. It's possible. And even just allowing for the possibility of things will get better. Like that you will get better, that you have the ability to. Mm-hmm. That's just having that be sort of a on a relatively consistent basis where my attitude is at. If I ever get to that point, that's a huge win for me. That's like a lifelong stretch for me.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a good goal.
Yeah, I think so.
And if it takes a whole lifetime to get to the place of saying yet, then that's worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've talked a lot, but we're good at that. We're very, very good at that.
So good at talking.
Mm-hmm. But we did our good tonight. We did yoga. We did a longer yoga tonight.
Yeah, it felt good.
Yeah, I think so. We got done and Forrest said, I feel pretty good now. How does your body feel pretty good? Stuff. I said, well, it feels like I used it. He's like, yeah, that.
Yeah, so, that's what that means. That feels good.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And for the most part, it was good. It was a good yoga. There's one yoga stretch at the end that neither of us are comfortable with our current girth. But we will get there. We're not comfortable with it yet.
That's right. At some point, my waist size will allow me to fold in that way.
Without suffocating. Because instead it becomes a practice in, okay, how long can I hold my breath?
Right.
Before
what am I stretching? My lung capacity.
My lung capacity. The ability for my brain to go without oxygen. Yeah. And that's okay. We both figured out a different thing to do for that time, and it was fine.
Modify.
Yep. But.
All right. So you can find us on Twitter, where we are pretty darn active. And my handle on there is fearless leader.
You're really excited to get to the TV show we're going to watch, huh?
We're rewarding ourselves.
Yeah, with a one episode of something that we've been trying to watch for like 5 days. And I think we're actually going to get to it tonight. And so if you'd like, you can find me at Triss_Joy on Twitter. And when we're not being lazy in front of the television, yes, we are relatively active on there, and we would love to chat with you. And I think I'm out of things to say.
No, you're not. You always have more to say.
I'm out of things to say right now.
Well, see you next time, suckers.